Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you all so much for being with me here today. I appreciate each and every one of you so very much. Really quickly, just want to say thank you for those of you who have been commenting on my latest videos that I have done. Thank you so much for doing that. The kind words, the suggestions, the opinions, the ideas. Thank you so much for doing that. It really does allow me to get better and try to get better. And really, it allows me to get to know who you are. And really, what it really does ultimately is it allows us to share the thing that we're really here for, and that's the love of great music and the love of great sounding music, which really is what we're all here for, is the great and wonderful music that we like to listen to. It could be vinyl pressings, records that we're talking about, SACDs, CDs, high-res digital files, so forth, even equipment, speakers, and so forth. Actually, today, we're going to be talking about a really little bit about some digital equipment, and then I'm also going to be talking about, I think, 10, 12, 13, maybe 15 compact disc CDs that I believe are absolute audiophile gems that have audiophile music on them, that have audiophile sound. And they're great, great music. Not all of them are on audiophile labels. Most are, but there's a few that are not, that are just absolutely stunning, not only with their music, but with the sound that they have. Before we get running too far, if you like what you see, please go ahead and subscribe. Thank you so much for doing that. But the most important thing to me, as always, please leave comments in the comment section below. Well, as you know from my last video, Utah Audio, just a quick shout out to Tyler at Utah Audio. He's been just fantastic in helping me create and giving me things to try to make decisions on replacing an amplifier and a preamplifier, and really phono stage and digital, front end. Thank you. He's just been absolutely wonderful for doing that. Thank you to all of you for giving me suggestions and ideas based on our last video. Thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate it. Today, I really want to talk about, on loan from Utah Audio, as well as the Moon 761 power amplifier, I have with me here the dCS LINA streaming DAC, along with its companion, the word clock. There is also a headphone amplifier that goes along with this these units, so I guess it can be a three-piece unit if you're into using headphones. What I've been doing here with this piece, since I've had it for the past, I don't know, pretty close to a week now, is I've been streaming from Spotify, Qobuz, and then I also am using my Sony XA5400 ES player using a digital out from a coax cable, digital coax into the digital coax, which is what we're on right now, of the dCS LINA. Of course, the Sony won't send out SACD DSD information to the DCS, but it does send out a digital stream for the CD, for CDs, which is really what I've been listening to. And that's really kind of where just listening to a bunch of CDs. And like I say, I've probably got 12, 13, 14, maybe even 15 CDs that I believe are absolute audiophile gems. They absolutely sound fantastic, but they've got great music on them as well. So we're going to quickly take a look at that. Well, let me just quickly just kind of tell you my experiences with the dCS LINA streaming DAC and the word clock. You can turn the word clock off right here. There's a button under here, and so that you can kind of actually hear what that does. And really, from my experience, what that does is it actually makes the sound a little fuller. I don't want to say it's a loudness, but it's just probably accurately sampling the music and making that a little bit better. It does certainly have a nice additional quality of sound with the word clock engaged. And really, before I've had this DCS unit, and really crazy, right? What a piece of equipment to try. Really, the only things that I've been listening to digital wise, of course, has been the Sony XA5400 ES, and then my Sony X1Z, Z1X player, high-res player. That's really what I've been listening to for the past several years. And so putting something like this into my system and listening to high-res audio files, streaming CDs through the DAC. What I also did too is I left the balance outputs on the Sony going into the preamplifier, and I'm using balance outputs on the dCS LINA going into my preamp. So I'm able to switch on the fly and listen to the difference. And I will tell you, there is a significant difference in sound going through the dCS LINA using its internal DACs rather than the Sony's. It's quite striking. It's quite unbelievable. Of course, this pair right here is extraordinarily expensive, very much probably out of my league as far as what I'm able to afford. But I tell you what, it really gives me an opportunity to see what's out there, to really kind of see what's possible. And that's probably the biggest thing that I'm getting from utilizing uh, these two pieces of equipment in my system and in my room. And it's been like I say, it's been an absolute wonderful time. I have went through my entire CD collection, not quite, but I bet you I've been through probably half at one time or another, just listening to and experimenting back and forth. I've chosen a few here that I want to talk with you about in just a moment that I believe are absolutely audiophile sounding SACDs, or excuse me, CDs. And no, you don't have to have the dCS Lina DAC for them to sound fantastic. They sound great on their own. But boy, I tell you what, through the dCS Lina, it's just another level of, oh my gosh, it's great to see what's possible. And that's really what I've been doing. There's several different settings on the dCS Lina. I'm not going to go through everything with you, but there's a lot of on the app that you can install on your tablet or your phone. There's a lot of different settings that can be done to shape the sound. There's a voltage output that you can, adjust, so louder, softer, so forth. I've tried to set that. I think I got it at 2 volts. It matches pretty much what the balanced output from the Sony SACD CD player is doing. And so it when I do a comparison, no, it's not scientific and it's not perfect, but it's really darn close, and I can get a pretty good idea of what the two are doing. As well as on the dCS Lina on the app. There's, like I say, all sorts of controls. There's several different types of filtering. There's upsampling, DSD, a couple of DSD options, DXD, and so forth for upsampling. It's really got a lot of flexibility, and I went through and I played with a lot of it, switching here and there, re-listening to a track or whatever to try and figure out what would be the best sounding for me in my environment and kind of tailor that to what I like. And it's interesting that the differences in these different filters, there's just a lot of, and they're not huge differences. They're small, but when you start combining them all, but I tell you what, it's really interesting, the difference in sound that it can make. And I've kind of set it to what I think sounds the very best. And I'm sure that others might think that. I'm sure when you change different types of music, maybe classical, maybe switch it to pop rock or jazz. So really, depending on whatever type of music that you're listening to, you may want to adjust those filters and all of these different adjustments and that there is with inside this dCS Lina audio DAC. It's a very well built piece of equipment. It's very heavy. They have isolated the power transformer in each of these in the very bottom so that it's kept away from the electronics that are above. It really is a really nice, well built piece of equipment. I never really ever have considered dCS because obviously their pricing's a little bit beyond my reach and my abilities, but I've had an awful great time, just incredible time, I should say, in listening to CDs, Cobiz, and even Spotify. Just at Spotify, it's not high res, right? I can't even tell you how amazing it sounds through this dCS Lina streaming DAC. It's just, it's unbelievable. I was totally shocked. Then, of course, you go to Qobuz and start listening to some high res streaming, and you're just like, wow, this is unbelievable. And then just putting in some CDs and listening to what it is capable of doing is really, really unbelievable. But it's been an opportunity that I've been very grateful for. It gives me the idea of what's out there, that's what's possible. It's just like with anything in life, anything, including audio equipment, and really anything, I guess, in life. The further up the chain you go, uh, you get rewarded. You get what you pay for. We've heard that adage so much, and really in audio it is true, and probably not in all cases. I think there are systems out there that really punch way above what their prices are, which is really neat, and that's kind of what we all look for, is pieces of equipment, whatever it might be, that sound great but maybe are a little bit less. But boy, I can tell you what, I like I say, I don't know that I would ever be able to afford something from dCS, but I tell you what, it's something to strive for. I've really enjoyed my time with this. Not looking forward to taking it back later this week before I head out to Chicago to Expona. It's been a fantastic piece of equipment and listen to. Well, let me go ahead and kind of show you what I believe are really, there's 15 of them, 15 incredible CDs that I believe have audiophile sound quality that I believe are absolutely wonderful. You're probably familiar with a lot of them. You may not be with some, and I trust me, you want to vet these guys out, because some of the music on here, a lot of the music, this is really the why I picked it, are just absolutely fantastic music wise. I could probably add 50, 60 more to this list of audiophile sounding CDs with great music. But we'll go ahead and start. Let's go ahead and start with some pop rock type of stuff. The first one that I put in is the Eagles' Hell Freezes Over. And if you guys have heard this, the entry on this live album, this album was done when the Eagles got back together back in, I don't know, was it 90s? I can't remember what year this was. But Hotel California, the intro to that, the kick drums are just, oh my gosh, it sounds phenomenal, absolutely wonderful. And the whole CD sounds great. It's an incredible sounding CD. Not an audiophile label, it's on the Geffen label. Great sounding music. The Carpenters, A Song for You. This is on the Mobile Fidelity Gold CD. Um, Fantastic CD. It just sounds absolutely wonderful, in particular through the dCS. Any one of these songs on here, great. A Song for You, Top of the World. I mean, a lot of these songs that the Carpenters did, these were done and recorded back in the 60s, and maybe even some into the early 70s, mid 70s. And they sound unbelievable on this CD. And really, through the dCS Lina DAC, it just brings a complete other level. They just sound phenomenal. Definitely, that is an audiophile CD. This is also not an audiophile label, but this is Bonnie Raitt, Luck of the Draw. This is my favorite album by Bonnie. It's fantastic. She's touring. I'm hoping to go see her if she comes close. This is just a fantastic sounding CD, top to bottom. Something to talk about. The first track on the CD is incredible. The one on here that I think is absolutely wonderful is the title, Luck of the Draw. Fantastic. If you've not heard this CD, you've got to. It's got audiophile sound, and the music is outstanding. Katie Lang and Juine. This album right here, I think just got released on a one-step version of it. Love it, but I tell you what, the CD sounds unbelievable. It's an incredible sounding, and you can get the CD for very little money. I don't know what the one-step goes for, if they're still even available, but they are just outstanding. Of course, you got on here Constant Craving. That's probably the most popular song on it. But Still Thrives This Love. Check that out, vet that out. This CD sounds absolutely amazing, audiophile quality. At least it is in my book, and the music on here is just phenomenal. This is an audiophile standard. This is, of course, Sheffield. This is James Newton Howard and Friends. Of course, all of you are familiar with a museum. I guess I'm pronouncing that right. But the song right before that, Slippery, Slipping Away, listen to that. Listen to that song on here. It is unbelievable. The drums on here are so impactful. And really, when I was switching from the internal DACs on the Sony to the DAC on the dCS Lina, the drums just had powerful, impactful, well-controlled bottom end, and really the percussion, it just sounded precise and amazing. I was shocked at how much definition the DCS had over my Sony. It was actually like, oh my gosh, how can I acquire this piece of equipment, right? The next one is on Stockfish label. This is Alan Taylor. This is a great, great, great album. Color to the Moon. Trying to figure out which song on here. They're all good. Wheel of Fortune. This is a fantastic album. The sound quality on this is just, I think, simply stunning. It really is. The sound quality is, but really, Alan Taylor, his voice is incredible. Kind of a low voice. It sounds incredible. I love his voice. Claire Marlowe, Let It Go. This is also on Sheffield Lab. Uh, I'm sure probably most everyone knows this album. It is really what I would call an audiophile standard. I do have the SACD version of this, but this is just the CD version of Let It Go. Every song on this album is, including Let It Go. All for the Feeling on here is absolutely stunning. It sounds amazing, but the entire album is one that you just play all the way through because the music is great. She's got an absolutely wonderful, wonderful voice. The musicianship on this album is fantastic, and the sound quality is nothing short of stellar. Aaron Neville, Warm Your Heart. This is an actually wonderful, wonderful CD. I believe he's got a duet in here with Linda Ronstadt. It's really, but Angola Bound is the song on here that you really would like to listen to and vet out. The sound quality on the CD is incredible. I mean, every song on here, the sound quality is amazing. But really, Angola Bound, listen to that. It is an incredible, incredible track and sounds absolutely amazing. Let's quickly jump into some jazz titles that we've been listening to. This is on Maple Shade. This is Kendra Shank, Afterglow. Really a fantastic album. The song on here you want to look at is Almost Blue. It sounds really good. Afterglow, the title track, is really, really good. Just a fantastic sounding album. Just a quick look at the inside and the CD. Excellent. Kendra Shank on the Maple Shade label, wonderful. Another audiophile classic. This is on the Chesky label. Sarah Kay, Hobo. I believe this just got released as a one-step, and I think there's an SACD of this. Either way or the other, this CD sounds absolutely stunning in its presentation. The song on here that you want to listen to is Brick House. It's a copy of the Commodore's song Brick House that Sarah Kay does. Listen to that. The congos in that, the percussion, and not to mention Sarah's voice. It's stunning. Listen to this. This is a fantastic CD. And I tell you what, the definition on this is unbelievable. It goes clear up to another step and another level with the dCS Lina. It just sounds unbelievable. Songbird by Eva Cassidy. Her version of Fields of Gold on this is just stunning. A song by Sting that she covers. Passed away, this girl, way too soon. Her voice to me is just, it's just unbelievably awesome. Love Eva Cassidy and her music. Got several of her albums, both on CD and vinyl. I got this one on vinyl as well, but it just sounds absolutely wonderful. Blick Street Records is the label there. Another probably audiophile standard, Tricycle by Flim and the BBs on the DMP label. This is going back several years. I remember hearing this at a trade show in an audio. Somebody's using this for a demo. The dynamics on here, outstanding. You should really hear it with the DACs on the DCS. It's just next level, unbelievable. Going through and just listening to these already audiophile CDs are just, you're just like reliving them again when playing through a digital to audio converter like the DCS. Just fantastic on here. Every song on here is incredible. Tricycle, the very first song, is probably one of the most popular on it. Uh, Thunder and Birdies is fantastic. Actually, Lunch Hour Wedding March. That's one to check out on this one. It is great. Sound quality is nothing short of fantastic. Shirley Horn. You know what's really cool on this CD? You can pick the CD up for very little. It's not. There's 70 minutes of music on this. This is just an absolutely fantastic sounding. Too Late Now. Just round out about It Had to Be You. I'm trying to think of the one on here that I just had to play over and over. Uh, Come Back to Me. This is absolutely fantastic. Shirley Horn, what an incredible album. You Won't Forget Me. What a great album this is. 70 minutes long. Wow. Um, this is one that I don't know if you've heard of before. This is on the Clarity Recordings label. It's Mary Stallings Fine and Mellow. I bought this, I can't even tell you when, a long time ago. It's on their Premium Gold CD. Let me just quickly open it up, show it to you. Um, just a fantastic sounding CD. Mary Stallings' voice is incredible. Um, Fine and Mellow, the first song on here is good, but really Sunny, the song Sunny on this album, check it out, vet it out, listen to it. It's amazing. Mary Stallings' voice is absolutely wonderful. The group that she is with, the musicians are just fantastic. Great sounding CD. Wonderful. And then I've got 3 or 4 different copies, and this is the last album that I'll share with you, is Jazz at the Pawn Shop. This is, I know, is an audiophile standard. And the reason that I've been playing, and I've had all these different versions of Jazz at the Pawn Shop, I just really wanted to hear uh, if there was much differences. This is an original I believe Proprius. Yes, Proprius CD of Jazz at the Pawn Shop. And this is really one that I just really wanted to see if there was much difference between. This one's on the FIM K2 HD mastering. On the CD using my Sony, there is a difference. This one sounds much better. But really, through the DCS, they all sounded absolutely fantastic and just utterly stunning. On track 3, High Life, at the end of High Life, towards the end of the song, and it's a 7-minute long song, there's pretty much a drum solo on this. And I've never appreciated the impact of those drums until I heard it through the dCS LINA DACs. I just never appreciated the impact. The definition was just unbelievable to me. I have never heard my Wilson Audio, the Watt Puppy speakers, sound as good as they have with this unit. It just brings a whole new level to audio. And I guess that's probably one of the things, that's really the last one in my list of audiophile CDs. I guess really what it does, like I say, it shows you what's possible, and it shows you what, as you step up the chain in cost, what you can possibly expect as you do that. But I tell you what, it's been really good for me because I've had the opportunity to relive and listen to some of these CDs, and I can see where a lot of people, and I couldn't do this because I just love vinyl, but I can see where a lot of people have just said, you know what, I don't want to have to worry about storing vinyl. I don't want to have to worry about storing any real media. I'm just going to stream. And I'm just going to stream high resolution files, and maybe they create a NAS, and then they put all of their CDs or SACDs on that and then get rid of their hard copies. I can see where some people do that. after listening to an incredibly, yes, albeit very expensive, digital to audio streaming DAC, uh, I can see why some people do that. I can see that, hey, you know what? I don't want to be bothered with that. I don't have the space for whatever reason, and I don't want to bother with hard physical media. I can see where that can happen. I couldn't do it because I like to have something tangible in my hand. I like to be able to put something on and play it. I still love vinyl. I'll never give that up. I'll never give that up. That's my top priority as I look for preamplifiers, whether they have a phono section built into it or if I'm going to be getting one that's outboard. Uh, that's really my most important thing. But boy, after listening to this, I can see why people do that. I really can. Because digital audio, if done right, is incredible. Sound quality is amazing uh, through a properly set up and a really nice digital to audio converter, streaming digital to audio converter. And I've had that opportunity to listen to it for the past just about a week. And I'm going to hate to give it up, but I have to give it up because it's just not in the cards. I can't afford at this point in time anyway, with looking at an amplifier and a preamplifier, I just can't afford that. And so maybe somewhere down the road, it is absolutely something to aspire to. It is something that I would definitely want to consider down the road, but certainly I don't think that's possible for me now. But what a great opportunity it has been to listen uh, to digital audio through this piece of incredible, incredible equipment. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave comments in the comments section below. I appreciate each and every one of you so much. We'll be getting some information back from Expona, likely have a video on that and talking about some of the things that I ran into that I thought were wonderful sounding. Hopefully I can get some and purchase some vinyl and CDs, SACDs there at the show. Excited. It should be a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.